building back in the 1920s was the home of Wiggins Brothers Lumber and Building Material Company. My dad, T.J. Wiggins, and his brother, J.L. Wiggins, operated this business for many years, but in 1930, when the Big Depression came, the business went bankrupt, and they lost the building. Later on, my dad bought the building back, but this is the home of the Wiggins Brothers.
Address. Just on.
Oh, it's 200 East Bland Street. This is the left side of the same building at 200 East Bland Street. It's where the railroad siding was located and where they unloaded a lot of their merchandise. You can see the lettering W.I. and lime and wall, part of wallboard down there. Much of the lettering was left on the front and the side of the building until they sandblasted in order to get a lot of that lettering off. This is the best, the W.I. is the best that's been left on the building. Was the home of the Builder's Hardware division of Wiggins Brothers. It's located on the corner of South Tryon and East Bland Street. They have altered the front of it considerably because it used to be a regular storefront-looking building. But this was part of Wiggins Brothers' building material business back in the 1920s. We've been taking a tour of houses and buildings that were part of the past of the Wiggins family here in Charlotte. This particular building we're looking at now was the home of Mrs. A.B. Saine, our Aunt Bessie. She lived here for many years and has been converted into a four-family apartment located at 1611 South Tryon Street. This is the home located at 401 East Worthington Avenue. It's where Sunshine Davis Wiggins lived for all of her life till she was married. Her mother and dad, Mr. and Mrs. F.M. Davis, lived here. Sunshine said that the backyard used to be the biggest thing in the world to her. This is a view of the side of the house at 401 East Worthington. The building where the door where the people are coming out used to be the sunroom of Miss Davis's. And the backyard is to your left as you see the camera moving over. That's good enough, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna go. This is the backyard that Sunshine used to think was so big. We're standing right where the garage used to be, and there used to be a series of fences and chicken houses and that sort of thing dividing up this backyard. But you can see it's a pretty good sized backyard. This is a apartment building located in the 1900 block of Euclid Avenue. This is the building that Sunshine and Lindsey Wiggins moved into the day they came off their honeymoon from New York City. We lived in the center apartment, and it was 1924 Euclid Avenue. You would go in that door that you're looking at now and turn to your left on the lower level apartment, and that's where we started living as a married couple in Charlotte. This building is located in Euclid Avenue and Tremont Avenue. This house is located at 1719 Euclid Avenue. It's the home where Marjorie Wiggins was born back in 1916. TJ had, her brother, my brother, was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, and then they moved to Charlotte, and Marjorie was born in this house. This is 611 East Kingston Avenue. It is the home birthplace of E. Lindsey Wiggins. I was born here in 1924, July the 15th. It's 611 East Kingston now, but when we lived here and I was born here, it was 605 East Kingston. The house looks basically the same as it did when we lived here. There have been a few modifications, but very, very few.
So what Marjorie's there?
Marjorie, my sister, and TJ, my brother, had an unusual reaction the day I was born. They told them that they had a surprise for them, and when they were told that it was a new baby brother, they were so disappointed, they thought it was ice cream. This house, 1001 Mount Vernon Avenue, was a place that we moved from when we lived on Park Road. We moved here as we were waiting to finish our house on Dilworth Road West. We only lived here probably 6 months or less, but it served our purposes very well for that period of time. Remember, this house, 1914 Dilworth Road West, better than any house that I lived in when I was growing up. I think I must have moved here about mid-1930s, and I stayed until I went into the Army in 1943. It's a large house that has a large attic to it, and it was designed by Marvin Helms, the local architect, who was a good friend of our family. Has a 4-car garage. It had large numbers, 1914, the street address, in cast iron over the front door, and the little semicircle that's over the door. And the people who bought the house thought it would be better perhaps to do something different, so they covered it over with plaster. But those numbers are still there. When Sunshine and I got out of the Army, I got out of the Army in 1946. We came home and couldn't find a place. I got out of the Army, as I said, in 1946, and when Sunshine and I came back to Charlotte, we couldn't find a place to live. So we bought this lot and built this house at 953 Pointdexter Drive. The house was added on to. We started out with just about half what you see there, and we kept adding to it till finally we had added to it all we could, and we had to move because our family was just too big for this particular house. We've got a lot of fond memories of 953 Pointdexter.
Okay.
This is the yard of 953 Pointdexter. This is the yard that Pattie, Judy, Ed, and Tom used to play in. It had a full basement. You see the entranceway into the basement. And then behind all of that, to your right, is the house of Neil and Pete Mallard. Good friends that moved in shortly after we built our house here. And we were able to stay in touch with them for many, many years. During the Depression, 1930 or so, we moved to this address at 3529 Park Road. We moved here in order to get away from taxes in the city of Charlotte and to try to get involved in some country living. We had a farm here. We had chickens, and guineas, and pigs, and cows, and this property now, as you can see, is hidden by a lot of trees and bushes. But this is a white two-story frame house that we lived in. We also moved here along with my uncle, Uncle Roy, J.L. Wiggins, who built a house right next door. And we did it at the same time and moved here together. We had a common driveway that came in that served the two houses. In behind our house over here, there was a two-car garage, and then there was an apartment behind it that was used by our live-in maid. And we had a barn in the back, and we had chicken coop, and chicken yard. You can't see much of that right now, but it's all in behind this two-story house. We moved into this house in 1962 and have lived here ever since. This house was the one we moved into from Pointdexter, and we moved when Judy was in the 9th grade and Pattie was going into high school. House has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a living room, dining room, kitchen, and a separate den. It's located at 3118 East Burn Road, right off of Sharon Road, about 3 or 4 minutes from South Park Shopping Center.
You got a magazine and something to shade it with?